We just got back from seeing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the big screen for the first time in 20 years, and we fucking loved it!
Oh my God.
We loved it! I am not being sarcastic, believe me.
Seriously.
I sent out like 3 tweets since we saw it. People don't believe me. They think I'm being sarcastic
Dude,
because
we're not getting paid.
Reviews
right now.
Reviews are bad for this right now. For some fucking reason, reviews are bad for this movie. And it was good.
It was so good.
Like,
I want to see it again.
We went in with low expectations because we'd heard the reviews and people had personally tweeted us saying like, I hated it. And I went in like, kind of like, I knew that I had to give my opinion on this because if you don't know leading up context to this, we were sponsored by the Turtles to do a show where we played Turtles games. And then there was some controversy with Twitch, which I'm not going to get into. It's a separate subject, but where I considered dropping the show out of kind of like almost a symbolic protest and kind of half like I was worried about what the people would think, everybody would think being sponsored on the same day that like Twitch is doing something I'm against. But then you guys said resoundingly you wanted to see the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show. Then I knew going into this that I was gonna like give my unvarnished opinion, and I was fully expecting I was gonna come out of it saying, holy fuck, it sucked or something like that.
Yeah.
Like I was preparing myself to be able to have to say that.
We were super jacked to see it.
No,
like,
we went in. Becky and I were like, all right, let's get through this.
We're so into Turtles. Clearly, if you watched our stream yesterday,
yeah,
we love Turtles.
We love Turtles. We fucking love Turtles. And we went, because ever since the trailer first appeared, you guys saw my first reaction to the trailer. It was the same as a lot of you guys. It's like, what the fuck did they do to the Turtles? Why do they look like that? Why are they so ugly? What happened to the friendly rounded nose face? What are the Turtles from my childhood like now? And we went to the theater completely like I said, like, let's get through this. We'll just have to watch it. Like for a while I was like, I don't even want to go. And then we went and oh my God, guys, I don't know how to express to you more that if you love the cartoon, if you love Turtles growing up, the cartoon, the cheese, the cliches, the kid-like fun, the stupidity.
Oh, it was so fun. There was girls like our age, 2 girls sitting beside us, like giggling. They were so friggin' into it.
There were kids in the theater that were just beaming smiles.
Oh my God.
Their moms looking over at them, laughing, like smiling at the kids, like they can't believe how much the kid likes it. And it was adorable, and I teared up at a point in the movie.
Twice.
A couple times.
I'm tearing up right now thinking about it. Oh my God, you're so cute.
One of the it created this feeling that tapped into that feeling as a kid of like, I felt like, I said to Becky, and this is getting poetic, but it felt like I was watching it with a kid version of myself next to me. And this is fucking stupid. It's stupid, but like, because the movie is cheesy and it makes fun of the cheesy moments.
Yeah,
it makes fun of the cliches where it's purposefully trying to get overly emotional. And at one point, the part that really got me, well, it actually kind of started off, and oh, by the way, the way we're gonna structure this is we're gonna structure it like you haven't seen it yet, and we're gonna keep it kind of spoiler free at the beginning, and we're gonna get more into detail as we go. So if you get uncomfortable with how much detail we're going into, tune out and go fucking see it if we've convinced you. So anyways, what was I getting?
We are not kidding.
Oh yeah, we're not kidding.
We're not getting paid right now. We're not kidding.
If we don't know, if we have to explain that to anybody in the audience that that this opinion would be based on payment, fuck off and stop watching my show.
Nobody's saying that.
Anyways, okay.
I'm just trying to reiterate, like,
this is not sponsored. Okay.
We love it.
But anyways, it kind of got me in the beginning. Like, it starts off with a comic book style, kind of just setting the stage with Splinter's voice. And he says that, and it's like almost like a letter to to the Turtles, saying that you are not prepared to go out there yet. You must train more. And he says, I'm your father, listen to me. And he says that I can't think of another time where Splinter has said, I'm your father.
I don't really
Did he ever call them his sons in like the original film? I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
But there's a point in the movie, and like this is as far at this point in this review or reaction that I'm gonna go this far into the movie. And this actually happens pretty early. But Splinter is kind of in trouble, and Leonardo runs up and he can't get to him to help him. And he smacks his hand against a cage and he just screams like, Dad! Like he really thinks that he's in trouble. Like it was believable.
Uh-huh. He does say my sons. Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's true. That's true.
I don't think they have ever called him Dad.
They call him Dad.
Though. Oh my God, it was
like they really seem like brothers. They seem like teenagers.
Yeah.
For the first time in a long, like I don't think I've ever really felt like the turtles felt like teens. Like they kind of felt like, you know, smarmy Chandler Bing type, or like Ace Ventura type guys that you look up to because they're witty and cool and like, you know. But this time they really felt like teens that had foibles in their personality. They felt genuinely scared of all the situations they were in. They felt like they have never seen action really, it feels like. And they felt, it looked as though they were genuinely scared of the situations they were in.
You can see like somehow terror in their eyes and the expression on their faces. I don't know how
they were worried about how am I going to get out of the situation. Like we're, you know, over our heads on this moment. But at the same time, there's a touch of like, they're starting to realize how powerful they are too. And they're really excited about it as well. Like, like, I don't want to, like, there's a moment, I'll just say it. It's not a spoiler of the plot or anything, but there's a moment, okay, where they're being shot at, and they look at each other and they're like, we're bulletproof. And they just realize they're bulletproof. And they get really excited about it. And there's so much, okay, this scene, like, in particular, we saw this during the previews and thought that, especially the moment where he smashes into the Hummer.
Yeah.
And I'll try to talk to myself in my skepticism when I had first seen the trailer. It looks like they've taken your happy-go-lucky turtles and turned them into like this badass type of thing. Like you're worried that it's been Michael Bay-eyes and that it's gonna be over-the-top action, and it's very action-packed.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But it feels like maybe they're gonna make them into like these really crazy, like we're badasses types. No, they are not. They're badass moments for them.
Yeah.
But they're not complete badasses. They are. Every time that there's a crazy badass moment, they pepper in a bit of like grounding for them, like to show that they're susceptible to, you know, being hurt and or just making fools of themselves.
Yeah, totally.
Anyways, and speaking of their personalities, I don't think I've seen an iteration of the Turtles where the personalities have been so distinct. I'm sorry I'm not letting Becky talk that much, but I'm really, I just want to say everything. Like, their personalities are so distinct, like every one of them. And it's like, I mean, the Turtles have always had distinct personalities, and it's always been kind of interesting that the Turtles, you've been able to tell their personalities even though they all look the same. And there was a virtue to that their personalities were so well done that they were so distinct despite looking like each other, and that just a color band could make them different. Go ahead.
I don't know how much to say. Like at the very, very beginning, how they don't show the turtles.
Oh, well, yeah, no, the movie opens, and, you know, and they just, all you see is like their backs and shadows, and it actually does a lot like the original movie in that you don't get to see the turtles right away for quite a while, and you just hear their voices, and they say, like, there's 4 lines, and each of them has a line, and their voices aren't even that over the top into their personalities yet.
Yeah.
Like, you know, in the movie, Donatello does sound a little, like, he sounds nerdy, but in that first scene, he doesn't even sound that nerdy yet. But you can tell because of each thing that each of them says which one talked.
I loved that.
And their lines were fucking perfect for the first things they said.
We were like.
And anyways, what was I saying about distinct personalities?
Yeah.
And this time they look very different. Like they look like Raph looks really brooding. And Donatello looks very nerdy and
so much personality, and like the necklace he wears, and he has like sunglasses. He's like a teenager trying to find his own unique style.
And in a way, like the way that Mikey kind of in the original, in the first trailer everybody watched, Mikey was kind of the culprit for making everybody think that the turtles look too ugly now.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Mikey is the ugliest. Out of all of them, he's got the most kind of like awkward look, and he's he's so cute. His personality is amazing.
Yeah,
He's like,
well done.
It kind of speaks to how the turtles are. I think they know they're ugly. They know they're freaks, even without the same way that the first movie did it, where they just like, you know, all out say, like, you know, Raph grapples with being freak. They got that across without even going into it, really.
Yeah.
They kind of know that they're not a part of this world and whatever. And there was a couple scenes that actually kind of made that evident.
Acknowledged it.
But then Mikey kind of all encompasses this feeling that they don't care, kind of. Like, he really owns it in a way, and he's the one who's in love with April in this. I don't want to, like...
I know, it's so
He
hard.
loves April, and he's kind of like the only one who thinks, like, seriously, he has a chance, it seems. And he's just using lame pickup lines throughout the entire thing. He feels like what he, throughout the movie, speaks to her in a way that a teenager thinks the way guys are supposed to talk to girls.
Yeah.
When he's so awkward because he's never really talked to one, but he knows all the ways that guys on TV and movies have. So he's trying out all those lines, and he thinks that she'll just be like, you know, head over heels because he said these things that he knows girls go for.
He doesn't even consider the fact that he's a turtle.
He doesn't even think of that. Guys, I don't even know, like, just...
It kind of, it hurts me to see people being so skeptical about it
and cynical.
Now.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I don't get
you don't
it.
even
Like,
understand. Go watch it.
It's like, when I see these reviews and I'm reading these reviews after the fact and just, I'm like, I don't get it. Did we see the same movie, or are you... I'm a cynical fucking curmudgeonly asshole, and maybe it's because Turtles, I owned 4 DVDs as a kid. Or fucking DVDs, VHSs. Lion King, maybe I didn't get across before all this began how much I grew up and loved Turtles.
Yeah.
Because I had 4 VHSs, Lion King, Wayne's World, Jurassic Park, and Turtles, and I had 2 television channels. So I played Nintendo, watched those 4 movies, and watched like those 2 channels, which included The Simpsons and Fresh Prince. That was my childhood. I had very little media outside of this. And I felt like it was really being true 100% to my childhood version of Turtles.
Yeah.
You just have to trust me on it. I don't know how else to explain it.
And everybody's so upset about, and we were too, like, going into it like it's a Michael Bay movie.
So people thought that it might be too action-packed and that, like, the action
Too
scenes would be too
cam.
shaky and up close and, like,
Yeah.
over the top.
He produced it.
Well,
He
first
didn't
of all, he was a
direct it.
producer. Yeah. And then second, the first major fight scene in it, I'll just say it. It's between...
Don't.
No, I'm not going to say it.
Yeah.
The first fucking fight scene is fucking awesome. It is fucking awesome, and it's a stable, steady shot panning around the fighters. And it is just, like, Matrix kind of good.
And it's
like,
so cool because you want to see
know-
how they fight.
yeah. And you
How
can
do they
see,
fight?
like...
And you can see everything.
You can see all the moves. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like that kind of bullshit cop-out where it's so shaky and up close that they could be doing shitty choreography and you wouldn't know because the camera's too shaky to tell. It seems like somebody's fighting here and somebody's winning and somebody's losing.
Yeah.
It was good.
I have to disagree with the amount of shaky cam.
There were action-packed scenes that, like, I mean, the one going down the hill with all the snow was very
Yeah.
shaky, very up close, but it also, like, kind of, in a way, if any scene was going to be that close up and shaky, one where they were tumbling and falling the whole time makes sense. You're kind of, it should be that crazy, right?
Yeah.
But then towards the end of the movie, there's another major fight scene with amazing, like, it's on a rooftop and
Yeah.
there's like big panning shots, helicopter shots with like really cool like run-up shots, like as they go to clash and like...
I feel like I'm kind of sensitive to the shaky cam thing.
Becky felt like she had to leave the theater for Superman because of how shaky it was.
I closed my eyes.
And she wasn't bothered by
couldn't
this.
handle it. Yeah, and I didn't even think about it until later we were talking about it.
Here's a good one, Megan Fox. April O'Neil this is the best version of April O'Neil I've ever seen.
I thought so too. I thought they portrayed April really well. Super ambitious. Her act. What did you think of her acting?
I thought she was amazing. I thought she felt
too.
genuine and realistic.
People were saying that they didn't like her acting. I was never taken out of the experience because of her acting.
They don't make her sexy. No. They don't try to make her the sexy April O'Neil, which I think a lot of people were fearing. They make her adorable somehow. It's Megan Fox who's like claim to fame, I suppose, is, I don't know, I haven't seen much with Megan Fox in it. It's supposed to be sexy, right? She's the new like hot item or whatever. Well, in this, she is, I think, just adorable as April O'Neil, who is this reporter who has been genuinely wanting to be a reporter since she was a little girl, and they get that across in a very good, like a special way. And she seems just like, she's the classic April O'Neil, dead set on the story.
Yeah.
You know, blindly, stupidly, she's getting herself into trouble because of it, but not in a damsel in distress way.
Yeah, no. And like in the cartoon, she's willing to pick up the slack action-wise if she has to.
And she's like, there's moments where she needs to actually help, and she does in a good way, like to the best of her ability compared to mutants. That's the rooftop scene we're talking about, is with Shredder. I guess if the trailer gives it, I guess we can give it. Okay, she's a different, like, she's not red-haired. They kind of toned it a little bit to make it auburn, I think. I don't know if I think she's supposed to be like jet black hair in real life, but I think in this it had a reddish tinge. So she wasn't exact. I mean, but we're in a day and age where the latest Superman movie had a redhead playing Lois Lane, who's famous for jet black hair. So, you know, whatever. Things like this happen, you know. But what was I gonna say about her just being like, throughout the movie, as she's trying to get across to people what she's seen, she's the only one who's got glimpses of them, and she keeps trying to explain the situation, and every time she looks in her eyes, like, she's getting crazier. Like, she feels like, yeah, I'm going nuts. And it's a cliche in movies where the only person who knows what's going on is like, why won't anyone believe me? Am I going nuts? She actually looks like she's breaking down. Like,
Yeah, how can you explain to someone
and
that this exists?
This shows her faint, but I don't remember fainting. I remember him doing this, but I don't remember that. I feel like that was tagged into the trailer.
No, she fainted.
She did do that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I guess.
And I thought that was
laughing.
kind of like, I was like, during the trailer, but watching the old Turtles episodes, she does faint.
Oh, okay. And I mean, like, the reveal scene when they meet for the first time isn't exactly what you saw there. There's a first initial meeting, and it is hilarious. Oh, they show it in the trailer.
They kind of do, yeah.
Okay, so, all right, we're starting to move in a little bit further into detail. We're not going to spoil plot points, but we're starting to give away some scenes that made us excited. They're on the roof celebrating after they just thwarted the Foot from kidnapping a bunch of innocent civilians, which was, well, I'm not going to give away why, but then she follows them, and they're up on the roof just celebrating, like, oh yeah, we did it, and no one saw a thing, and they high five, and then at that moment she takes a picture, and they all freeze, and they're just like, what was that? And then they're like, it's just, I don't know, I can't reenact it in a way that does it justice. The whole theater laughed.
It looks like a freeze frame for quite a while.
Yeah.
Silent.
Yeah, they're just silent. They're like, they know they're in trouble.
What was that?
Yeah, and it's just, there was comedy in it that was genuinely fucking good.
Yep.
Not too heavy-handed. There are a couple little fan service things that give to the add to the or fan services to the old Turtles, including I won't give away what the fan service moment was, because it's one of those moments where you're gonna go, yeah, and not in a heavy-handed fan service way. It was just like kind of subtle, but very nice.
Yeah, from the first movie.
I don't know how to, like, it's almost like we came out of Star Wars. It's not on the level of Star Wars, because let me address this again. It is cheesy. It is cliche.
Oh, yeah. It is.
It goes predictable places.
Yeah.
The bad guys explain their plots, just fucking lay them out flat. Like, basically, you couldn't be more obvious without the bad guy coming on and saying, I am evil man. I am evil man, and I do evil things. They were pretty close to just basically saying exactly what they have planned, and that they're doing it for the sake of being mean, basically.
Yeah,
and
totally.
It was almost hilariously so, and it almost felt self-aware in that, in some ways. It's hard to tell.
There's so many parts where it seems they're being self-aware.
Self-aware, I think, yeah. But the thing is, even if they weren't, even if it was just being a fucking cliche because it's template and that's how movies work and people love it, it didn't matter. It was still good. It was like it felt like a warm blanket of cliches. Like, I know where this is going and I don't give a shit. And in scenes where I got emotional, where, like, you've pretty much seen in this trailer, Splinter gets hurt. And you're like, I was worried about him, even though I know he's gonna be okay, right? Like, I did think actually they might kill him.
Maybe
they might have him die.
Maybe
but
they did it? Okay, sorry, you talk, and then I want to say something about
No,
the
go
trailers.
ahead, go ahead.
Okay, so for me, the trailers didn't get me because I'm older and their design changed so much, and I was bummed about that. And then it bummed Deacon out a bit because there are guns everywhere, so much gun, and they didn't have fan service in the trailer.
There was a lot of guns in the cartoon.
And so,
too.
yeah. And
Anyways.
so that's what wasn't getting me with the trailer, and it just looked so
The trailers did kind of.
action-packed and
It's funny because the trailers did a bad job, I think, of getting across the tone of the movie. The only thing in the trailers that really got across the tone of the movie was Mikey showing his face, and that was displaced by the fact that he showed his face.
Yeah,
Which
totally.
is what.
That
So
didn't get me.
the fact that he looked that weird completely displaced the point that was actually a really funny moment. Even for me, I didn't even really see the comedy in it. I was so taken aback by
Yes,
what have you
right?
done to my turtles.
Yeah. I'd say I'm older in that, like I have such a connection with the earlier versions of the Turtles.
Can I have my water? Right?
Yeah. I have such a connection with the earlier versions of the Turtles, so it's harder for me to be accepting of a change that big. But also, I think that it was good that we went into it after watching Turtle Power. Is that?
Yeah, watching I really highly recommend watching the documentary Turtle Power first. It's coming out, when did Deacon say? It's on Canadian Netflix right now.
August.
It's coming out soon, but it's a documentary. They call it the definitive history of the Turtles, and it talks to the creators and talks about the history of how they got born and the whole lead up to the first cartoon release and then the movie release, and how they designed, first and foremost, the toys. The cartoon was made to sell the toys. The toys came first. They designed them, and once they were ready, then they made the cartoon. It's been a merchandising cash-in from the beginning. And in a way, like, that documentary gets across the feeling of it's shameless and I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I love it because of it, almost.
And the big part in it that really, really got me to accept the Turtles look now was the fact that the creators themselves said
in that talk, they say like that all artists, different artists throughout like a comic history, like that have taken their hand at Turtles, can apply their own hand to it, and they can be adaptable to any style.
Yeah. So the creators themselves
basically gave their blessing to, and this was shot. What?
I start sentences. And
I'm sorry. But it's important to note that documentary was shot 5 years ago. It was not in anticipation for the movie. So the creators weren't doing it to like set up and tell everybody to be okay with these turtles because of that. That was like completely a different interview.
And it was Deacon's friend who made it. It's called Turtle Power.
And anyways, and then they talk about like a frequent theme in that documentary is how the turtles can be anything.
Yeah.
That anything can be applied to them and they can look like anything.
So the fact that they said that, I was like,
yeah.
Okay.
And it kind of made me come.
They're okay with that, then I can be okay.
I'm sorry, I'm excited. Like, I think I'm so excited because I feel often nowadays that I'm jaded and curmudgeonly, and today I feel like I've I felt this way recently, like about the most recent Star Trek film. I got really excited.
Oh, yeah.
When you just see something you love a lot and you realize what it feels like to really love something and not be jaded about it. To not be jaded about it, to feel like all of that just melt away for a day.
Yeah.
It feels so like I just don't want to be cynical about anything ever again.
Yeah.
But I will. I'm gonna be a curmudgeon again about something.
Oh, let's just not read any reviews today and bask
and not be mad about them.
Glory that is the movie.
You gotta just, I don't know, it's like maybe it's a mood that you have to be in.
That wasn't stupid either. That wasn't too action-packed. Whenever he hits the car.
That's the thing.
The trailers just, I don't know, I feel like the trailers didn't get me.
Yeah,
it's a different mood.
When Raphael hits the Hummer like that and squishes it, it's actually one of those, and like I said before, despite me wanting you to know that this is not a movie that makes them into badasses, there are badass moments, and that's one of them, where you're like, yeah!
Yeah.
The trailer does not do it justice. It's just because, I think why, is because the lead up to it is they all have to work together to make that happen.
Yeah.
Like they're all like trying to, like, in this desperate situation, they're not in control there. They're desperately trying to get into control, and they finally get control, and then they're working together. Let's talk about Leo. Leo, throughout Turtle history, I've always thought was annoying as fuck.
Yeah.
He was an asshole. He was annoying, like I said during our show, about how he's like, Master likes me best type of personality. Like, they lack hustle, Splinter. I'll tell them to be better or whatever.
Yeah.
This Leo was, I don't know what it was. They humanized him. They made him like a leader, but at the same time, like a guy who's kind of. Well, let me show you something. He's not like a stuck-up leader, kind of like. I guess his flaw as a personality trait was always that he was a leader, but like he was a little bit too by the book type of good cop, bad cop with him and Raph. This shot here, I don't know if you can tell in his eyes without it being animated for too long. This is their elevator ride on the way up to fight Shredder, the final battle, and they're nervous. They're nervous about it, and it's visible on Leonardo's face. Even though he's the leader and supposed to be like the one with all the confidence and stuff, he's licking his lips in this scene, and like they're getting ready to, like, they're gladiators on their way out of the pit. Like, they're Russell Crowe and they're about to go fight lions.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's the other thing. They're scared of Shredder throughout the whole thing. They're afraid of Shredder. They're not like calling him a can opener.
Scary.
He's scary.
Holy shit.
And in this scene, I don't know if they showed in this trailer. They don't. And I don't want to ruin it.
No.
I love it. There's a moment in this scene where they pump themselves up, and it's comic relief, but it's not just a cheesy comic relief. They're pumping themselves up with what they do in this elevator, and I thought it was just brilliant. It was just the perfect way to bring them all together as this team. I don't know. It was fucking good. I can't wait to see it again.
Remember how we were put off also by like the hardcore
look
of Leonardo's,
it's because it's
like
do it yourself
armor?
Is why.
I guess, yeah.
It was do it yourself. They put it together from what they found in the sewers.
It has like a teenage or a tank girl quality to it. How it's like so do it yourself, I guess. Like Raph's shell has duct tape on the back of it. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Like throughout the whole thing, and there's like band-aids on Leonardo's armor.
Yeah. And somebody said, how does Don fight with all that crap on? Not very well.
No.
That's the best part.
He's so fucking cute. Oh my god.
He's amazing. Donatello knows his weakness, and he's like, he fights.
It's fighting.
But he's like a little bit worried about it. Like every time he kind of.
They ramped up his personality. Like he does machines and it's hardcore.
Yep. And I don't know if they did this in the trailer because I've heard people quote it before he even went in. Apparently, like, I think it must be in the trailer because the part where he says, where Raph is like, I forget what he's saying to April, but he's trying to intimidate her, and they're like, oh, he's doing his Batman voice.
Yeah.
They make fun of him for being who he is. They make fun of Mike for being who he is. They make fun of themselves, and they even like, basically they poke fun at the brooding, and like they make Raph brooding without being too brooding.
If they're bulletproof, why do they need armor? They didn't know.
They didn't know. Yeah, that's the thing. They didn't know that's what I said earlier, is that they don't know the limits of their, I guess the how far their powers go. They didn't. Yeah. They haven't been truly tested yet, I guess. Yeah. There was another. Oh yeah, the origin story. The way it all ties together is probably the best version of the origin story. Yeah,
and it's
Turtles.
crazy because you hear so many different versions of it from like one comic or one cartoon to the next cartoon, the comic, the movies, and this one's very different. Yeah,
and it's different but similar still. Yeah. Like it's got like. It was a smart way. I think it was really smart, the way they tied it in.
I loved it.
It's cheesy, but no more cheesy than little Jim Henson puppet turtles going, radical, radical.
Yeah.
Which I also love. That's the thing. You got to go back and you got to watch that first movie and the cheese in there. And the fact that Jim Henson made the turtles. Like,
he was apprehensive about it,
turtles,
but he made them.
Yeah, and I think that people like to, I'm not going to accuse anybody, like you guys out there, of this, but like I think that there's an attitude nowadays that people like to retroactively make themselves into franchise purists because they can. They can go read the original comics and be like, you know, like, oh, what have they done to the Turtles that I loved during the comics, even though they just read them this year or whatever.
Yeah.
I think some people might be angry at me saying that because some of you probably are purists, but the point is, the comic aside, the Turtles have, I think, more so than their origins, they're for kids. They are a kids thing, and even the creators admit that in the documentary. They're like, we gave it away. We gave it, we let it be what it became.
Yeah.
As far as our origins went, like, you know, the way that we made them was our way of like they were originally kind of a parody of comic tropes.
Oh yeah, totally.
And they were a way to make people who loved comics laugh at all the silly, like, Frank Millerisms, they said, and like the things that are constant throughout comics they were making fun of. And then when it was given over to the creator, whoever did the cartoons, when they kind of passed creative control. They said, like, take it. And it's weird because you don't often see the brainchild owners like often do that. Say, take my baby and do whatever you want with it. Make toys. Make it into a complete abomination compared to the grittiness that it used to be. But the creators look like they genuinely love what the Turtles have become too. And that's, I think, what's important to remember going into this, is it's for kids. And to think about yourself as a kid watching this.
Yeah.
Think of yourself as a kid and this being your first movie even.
Man, and go see it in theaters. There were kids in our theater, and Fraser and I were like totally watching the reactions and stuff.
Go in, like, try to go do a matinee so that you're with kids. Go this weekend during the afternoon, see it with kids. And what was,
Sorry, you're going somewhere with.
Something about what was I saying about, oh shit.
The different versions of the Turtles.
Anyways.
We started on this rant because we're focusing on Leo.
Oh,
but
as though you're a kid watching a movie for the first time and don't know these cliches and tropes, and you don't know what a hero shot is. You don't know the typical cliche pan up and like the moment where, like, you know, the guys suit up with weapons and stuff, and that this is your first exposure to it, and that you're gonna think that this movie invented it basically. Later on down in life, you're gonna realize you weren't right, that this has existed forever, that this was just playing into all that. But it did all of the cliches in a great, perfect, it did all the cliches well.
Fraser always calls out hero shots, and there's a hero shot. And you did this time too, but you were like, hero shot.
But I think, exactly. I think it's because I call them out because I feel as though when other movies do it, sometimes other movies do it, they think that maybe they don't think this, but I always think that they think that they're doing it for the first time. It always feels like that to me somehow.
Yeah.
That they're like,
I'm genius.
Especially in serious plots where it's like hero shot and it's like, oh my god, why couldn't you just, like, you know, whatever.
Yeah, the kids in it totally loved it, and I went to the washroom after, and there was a kid in there with his mom, and they were talking Chinese, and half Chinese, half English, or
like the mom kept talking Chinese and the kid kept talking English.
And so the kid was like, Shredder was so scary. Shredder was such a good fighter, and the mom was saying things back, and the kid was like, how could you not have thought about that, Mom? And then I could see them through like the crack, and he was talking about how the Ninja Turtles were like fighting, and they were like, and I saw his arms, and it just reminded me of being a kid and being like, oh man, I want to be a turtle. I want to.
How does that not make you tear up thinking about yourself as a kid? Every time I think of myself as a kid, I tear up. I don't know why. I have a soft spot because I become such an asshole. And myself as a kid was the polar opposite of me.
Yeah.
I was quiet and shy and like all of that. So whenever I'm reminded of myself, it makes me like feel homesick in a way. And I hardly ever feel homesick. And that's why I'm pathetic whenever I'm thinking about this right now. And yeah, I think that's the thing. Go into this with the idea go into this thinking in your head, I've become jaded. I am a jaded person. Admit it to yourself. Admit that you've become, maybe you haven't, but if you have ever been jaded about anything, think about that going in, and I think that because of that, it's going to melt away. Like, I don't think we could have gone into the film with a more, almost, in a more jaded way, really. It was so jaded that it was worried.
Yeah,
you know,
we're scared to see it because
it's almost like I was worried.
Reviews aren't great, and we love the Turtles, and we want a new generation to love the Turtles.
Yeah, and it's almost like that I was worried that this would be, because I've felt so jaded about so many things, that this would be the nail in the coffin and I would never have fun watching anything again kind of feeling.
Yeah.
Like, if they can't do Turtles right, then everything's wrong in the world, you know? And it wasn't. And I just don't know what to say to people who didn't like it, because I guess we were just completely different people.
I know, I don't know, it's tough too, because we both loved Turtles growing up, so I can't speak for someone who goes into the movie not having no experience with the Turtles, or like not having that warm special
but the thing
spot
is, I
for them
think
in
they
your
all
heart.
have. And I think, I can't believe that the movie reviewers didn't grow up with the Turtles, or maybe they didn't, I don't know.
Maybe it just wasn't as important to them, or...
It's just, you can see the confusion in our that we can't get our head around why it's so badly rated. It doesn't make sense to us. Like I was gonna say earlier, and I kind of interrupted myself, I don't put it on par with Star Wars, because Star Wars was groundbreaking, and this was cliches. But the thing is, in terms of how much I liked it, like, it's like somebody comes out of Star Wars and says to you, didn't you think that was the worst movie ever? And you're like, what?
Yeah.
I don't understand what you're saying. Did we see the same film? Anyway, one thing we haven't talked about yet? Will Arnett. He plays Vern.
He's so good.
And he's awesome. He's really good Vern, and it's
Incredible.
It's the best Vern too, because he's not just fucking heel Vern. He's not Vern that you love to hate. He's Vern that's pathetic and kind of like a douche who wants out of his douche skin.
Yeah.
In a way that he doesn't know he's a little bit Job.
Yeah.
Like, he means well, but can't stop being who he is either.
Yeah.
And
he has some great lines.
Really good lines in it, yeah.
Yeah, make sure you get shots of that.
Anything else, guys, that you can remind us, especially those who've seen it, and maybe even... shit.
So we can...
Also, maybe counterpoints that we can address, or devil's advocate, I don't know.
Irma, is there an Irma?
No.
I think that's your topic.
There's a roommate who plays a good "you're going crazy" character.
Yeah, her lines I thought were
the CGI was for the Turtles. I felt like was really good.
Yeah, I thought so too.
There was a couple moments especially when Splinter's first revealed, that it felt did you feel like Splinter looked a little weird his first shot?
Unsuited?
Splinter, when Splinter was first shown, didn't he?
Freaking do that with Splinter and Shredder.
His CG felt a little bit
actually
weird. But then you get used to his look after a bit.
I thought it was waxy.
Yeah, he didn't look the Turtles look like what I feel like mutants would look like if they were in real life, but Splinter took a little bit getting used to. Other than that, I'd say the CG was really, really good.
Yeah.
There were no characters we didn't enjoy. Whoopi Goldberg actually played a good boss for the press. I think for her small part, she did a great job. It was, she just basically played the boss who just wasn't willing to believe that a good story was happening.
There was 2 pizza scenes. There wasn't actually that much pizza in it.
The first time pizza is shown is shameless product placement for Pizza Hut.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time was very well done.
Yeah.
It had the theater laughing really well.
What else? Oh, someone asked if Karai was in it, and I called it.
Yeah, Becky had identified Karai as soon as she appeared on screen.
She is in it. Spoiler. But they don't confirm it until 45 minutes in, and I was like, damn!
Is Daredevil in it? I would say Daredevil is a combination of Mikey and basically Mikey's your Daredevil character. Yeah, but there's no real fourth wall breaking if that's what you're asking.
Johnny Knoxville is Leonardo. I
didn't know that Johnny Knoxville was Leonardo until the end, and I gotta keep saying I thought Leonardo was great. When it comes to the old rehash, there's a lot of rehashing here. This is a true reboot. It's playing this out as though this is your first Turtles movie, or that you're going in willing to see Turtles rebooted. Like, this is rehashing things.
Yeah.
Leonardo and Raphael's relationship, the classic, you're the leader and I don't accept that. It's a movie, and it's a short movie, and they kind of cram it in there. They're like, oh yeah, we got to get that relationship across. And it's almost like an entire Turtles, it's Turtles in point form almost. It's like, here's this line that tells you that they think this about each other. Here's this line that tells you this. And that's just like, I guess, the nature of movies, kind of, especially ones that try to do as much as this one did in such a short time.
Yeah.
And I didn't mind it. Like, I think that if you don't know the Turtles, maybe it would feel like they were trying to accomplish too much at once. But because we know that classic age-old relationship between them, it was like, okay, yeah, you acknowledge that. We know their relationship.
Yeah.
As a standalone movie, might not work as well because you're like, because it feels tagged on, maybe.
Yeah, I can see that. Is it on a top 10 movie list?
I don't know about that. My top 10's pretty crowded with some pretty amazing stuff. I don't know if I put it on my top. This is the most fun I've had in a movie. I'd say it's on the top 10 of movies I've had fun at in theaters. That's for damn sure.
I'm interested in knowing actually what people who didn't grow up with the Turtles think of it.
Would you say
Casey
you had
Jones isn't in it.
as much fun or more fun at this in theaters than Kick-Ass? Like, for me, this one beat Kick-Ass for fun. And Kick-Ass is a movie where I stood up and cheered for the final scene.
Oh my god, yeah.
Literally stood up and cheered.
It's really tough. This one might be, I don't know, it's hard because I just saw it, so I'm like all caught up in the excitement of it. But I feel like this might be
oh my god, I just thought of
Kick-Ass.
when they escape and how they escape. How April helps them escape, what she needs to do to get them and then the scene afterwards.
Yes.
There is a comedic scene. That's all that was probably my favorite scene, I think, that showed the Turtles true. The movie consistently goes back and forth between high action and back to the Turtles being Turtles comedy.
Yeah.
In the most perfect balanced way. And it intermingles them, and it feels like it's just on this nice, constant sine wave of action, serious comedy. And you know it's coming, you know the comedic relief. During one of the fucking parts I teared up at, I knew the record was coming. And then they make fun of it being an emotional moment, and I still got teary-eyed.
Yeah.
Fucking ridiculous. What else, guys? Any other questions? I don't know what else. One thing I can say I wish. I wish they'd spent the movie maybe had been a bit longer and had spent a little bit more time in their hangout. Because for me growing up, I always fantasized of the Turtles' hangout and how cool their lair was
really didn't
and stuff.
show much
there
of
wasn't
that.
too much in the lair.
Body count?
What?
You don't see them kill.
People. It's violent though.
Kick
It's
ass.
Batman Kick-Ass. Like,
Yeah.
I would say
people go flying.
a good description of Raphael, and the fact that the movie even acknowledges it, Raphael is Batman. Like, he is badass sometimes, and he is like fucking brutal when he punches people and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, he is a force. And you can tell all the Turtles acknowledge him as being the toughest.
Yeah.
Like, there is no fucking shoulders. They all kind of, it seems like they all know he is The turtles aren't even at all. Like we acknowledged earlier, Donatello is very clearly the weakest and knows it. And Raph is just fucking strong.
Yeah.
Like he's Hulk strong, kind of.
Yeah.
And it is so cool. What else? Running out of things to say, finally. I've never had so much to say about a movie. I just so excited.
Has a lot to say about every single movie we ever watched.
Yeah, there wasn't blatant sequel baiting. I thought there was. There was a moment where I thought there was, but it turned out it was something, it wasn't related to that. I was surprised at that actual end turn. When they go back into the sewer.
Oh, okay.
And I predicted something and it wasn't true.
Yeah.
There was no sequel baiting, but I fucking hope there is.
Me too. Oh my god, me too.
I don't think it'll live up to this because I don't think you can really do the same.
Michelangelo's totally a party dude.
He is a party dude through and through.
I love his character so much.
No, you know what makes it even better? He's not a party dude yet. He's a kid who wants to be a party dude. Who's seen party dudes on movies and television.
And knows how it's done and he's mimicking it.
And he can't wait to be one.
Yeah.
He knows that one day he's going to be the life of the party when he gets to college. In his disillusionment, that he seems to not realize he's a turtle type of guy.
Splinter was...
He's a skateboarder though.
Yes, I was so glad. There had to be some sort of surfing or skateboarding. And there was.
I can't just spiel for you my top 5 right now, but Iron Man's up there.
How much Splinter?
You see a lot of Splinter.
A good amount.
I would say you see more Splinter than the original film. Especially in certain respects.
Yeah, totally.
Let's just say it. You see Splinter fight, and he is fucking awesome.
Yeah, dude.
Like, Splinter fights, and he is Yoda good.
Yeah.
Like Yoda,
so good.
like, you remember the Yoda scene that like kind of, was the shining light in the middle of a terrible Star Wars film? It's that good.
No, Splinter doesn't make a funny at the end.
Yeah, he doesn't make a fun. Well, he kind of does. It's more funny because of somebody else, but, well, it depends on what you consider a funny. He does kind of.
Yeah.
It's a must-see, I think, for anyone, at least so that you can discuss it and have, so that you
so you have an opinion.
So you have an opinion and you can stop
reading,
basing it on the fucking trailers and half of what you read.
Because really, the trailers are getting me now. I'm like, oh my god, yes. But the trailers didn't do it for me, which I just can't even...
they didn't do it for me. The fucking scene.
That's crazy.
I want to see it again.
So
like, this is the craziest part, and I want to see it with the guys.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see it with Deacon and Kyle and Ben and see what they think.
Yeah.
I want to see how much fun they have.
I think it was a good length.
It was a good length, yeah. It was perfect length. I had to pee and then I got to pee. 10 out of 10, would buy again. I think...
How would you rate this compared to the original 3 movies?
That's the craziest part. And I feel really like I need to probably maybe wait on the final verdict on it because I haven't seen the original film in a while. I wanted to wait to rewatch. We're gonna do movie nights on this show eventually with a blurred out screen where you sync up the movie with us and we watch it without audio, and we all just watch movies together. And one of the top on that list was Turtles, and so I was saving it, right? Like watching this. I haven't seen the original in a long time, like probably like 6-7 years.
Yeah.
But just in my mind's eye, I think this film is better than the original. It's apples to oranges, though. Let me just say that. It's really hard to... Actually, I just thought of something, the perfect way to describe it. If this film, somehow, they had the technology to make this film when we were kids, would have been just as fucking good. And if the original film had come out now as a gritty reboot, I would have loved it just as much. I would say it's like gritty reboots working in reverse.
Yeah.
Is what I feel about it. And I love them both.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, the original might be dated now.
They have their strengths, they have their weaknesses. I think that this one got the fuck yeah of being a ninja cross better than any other. Like, Despite the choreography in the original being amazing and those guys doing incredible stuff in those
The
suits.
animatronics is incredible.
You couldn't beat this though.
Yeah.
Like as action-packed as this is, it's not unbelievable action. Can you move the charger over to this other computer? The action is within reason for what the turtles might be able to achieve. They're not superhumans. They are. They are bulletproof. But they kind of insinuate only their shells are. But they also
you can't. Their skin can't. I think here can.
Yeah. But
Definitely can.
they have their limits, and it's made very clear that they have their limits, and they're like very much Batman type characters. They are super fucking tough, but vulnerable as well. They can have potentially their back broken like Batman can or something.
Yeah. For me, it goes this one, then 1, 2, and then like 3.
You actually put this one above 1.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that you say that.
Yeah.
Really?
Dude, yep.
You're usually the type of person that hangs on no matter what to nostalgia.
Goggles are like this bigger than my gaming gig, guys, and you know how big that is. But this
really
number 1 for me.
Maybe we are weird people because we love like things like David Wayne films while all the critics hate them.
I know.
Maybe if you don't agree with us on this one and you don't agree with us on Wet Hot American Summer and you don't agree with us on They Came Together, maybe you should continue to watch us and our opinions, but take them as the polar opposite so that you can, when you don't agree with us, you'll know that when we love something, you're gonna hate it, and that still works. That relationship will work, you and I.
Yeah.
You know, we just don't know how to explain it though. When the majority doesn't like what we love.
Yeah, and we liked movie 43.
We loved movie 43 and people hated it.
Yeah, I understand why people didn't like movie 43, but oh my gosh.
But if we can't get across how genuinely in love we are with the film, then you have to if you think we're fakings for some reason, then you have to at least concede that we're the greatest actors of all time, because I'm a horrible actress and horrible liar. Yeah, you are. You're really bad at lying. We shouldn't have to justify that anyways.
Yeah.
Any other questions about it, guys?
They're asking if there's anything else that we're gonna see.
Well, now, like, it's funny because this has also made me excited about movies again.
Yeah.
Theater experiences. There are times where you'll watch a film in theater and you'll be like, I'm so happy I saw that in theaters.
Baxter Stockman wasn't in it.
No, Baxter wasn't in it. Well, now I'm excited for sequels, though. Any kind of characters could be in the next ones.
Yeah.
I actually kind of want to go see Guardians of the Galaxy. We didn't do Guardians of the Galaxy because of the lead up to our show. Yeah. Because we were so busy leading up to it. I think maybe we'll go and see Guardians of the Galaxy since there's no rush. We'll go see it on Tuesday for cheaper.
Baxter was in it in the background?
What? There was an Easter egg or something?
What?
Oh, like maybe in the lab.
Yeah, maybe.
I could see that.
There was nothing after the trailers either, so don't bother staying.
Within 30 seconds of the first credit appearing, there's a small thing.
Yeah, but at the very end,
there's nothing at the very end. What else, guys? Anything? Any other questions?
Hardcore scary.
Ninja Song is in the credits.
Yes.
There's a really good rap in the credits.
Yeah, actually, well,
I don't know who does it, but it's decent.
Yeah.
It's actually decent. Anything else? I'll look at even Shadow Chat too.
Yeah, Shell Shock song? I think that's what it's called. Shredder is the actual villain. There's a 6-year-old in front of me who's asking questions about a person dying. Aww.
Oh god, that's hilarious. Did he died?
He did died. They eat a little bit of pizza.
Yeah, that's not a lot of pizza. There's, you know what? In my defense, if like people really, if that's a no sale point for you,
go see it.
First of all, go see it because the pizza scene that is in it is completely worth it.
Yes.
And there's enough pizza, but even if you think that there isn't enough pizza, I would say there was no time.
Yeah.
There's no time for pizza with the amount of shit that goes on in this. Like, It's very, very balls to the wall action.
I don't want to stop this stream because I don't want to stop talking about the movie. It was so good.
It really was.
Any chance they'll do more review VGA style shows in the future? This was kind of neat.
Like, people are asking,
Maybe.
one question that I see there in the shadow chat is like, is there negative things? And I've mentioned a couple things here. Like, let me nitpick. Like, I mentioned my nitpicks are, Splinter looked a little weird at first. He also looked a little weird when he interacted with a human character. Like one of those moments where CG interacts with real life and it looked a little awkward. That was the only CG that stood out to me as a little odd.
Yeah.
What was?
Yeah, the fact that they're 6 feet tall is kind of weird because the turtles are normally short. They did not wear their trench coat and their hat at any point.
No, they didn't do that. But like, you can't expect it to be like a carbon copy of the original movie.
I wasn't offended by the fact that they were 6 feet tall. I did think it was kind of weird in the elevator scene that the two in the back are so much bigger than the two in the front. But I think they're trying to fit in the elevator.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Well, they also wanted to create that shot.
Well,
but nitpicking, like, I've already nitpicked the cliches and the predictability, and my user's guide to you to watch it is go in embracing that. Like, go in because you with a love of cliches, and we all know we love cliches when they're made fun of. Pretend the movie's making fun of them, because in a way it kind of is.
Splinter is smaller.
You have to remember,
than them.
this is Nickelodeon, which has got a history of being very self-referential and very self-aware with what it does with stuff. It makes fun of cliches often, and Nickelodeon had a strong hand in this film. Like, they own it now. This is through and through Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
That Shredder is the most terrifying Shredder of all time.
There's like, when he's on screen, I'm like, how do you even defeat him?
Yeah.
You can't.
I've never felt worried about the turtles.
Yeah.
Like, whether they're going to be able to actually win here.
Yeah.
Even though you know they're going to. You feel at parts, like, you can't beat that. You're fucking kids, and you're not good. You're not good fighters. And that's the perfect mix of, like, good fighting and being shitty, too. Like, they're, like, always like, oh, fuck, I suck. Oh, fuck, I forgot that move, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, Nickelodeon they're the people who did the new cartoon, and they had a hand in this.
But Nickelodeon also did the live-action Avatar everybody hated. I don't know. I don't know what to say to you then. I don't know. The other nitpick would be there was a couple one-liners from Arnett that were a little bit very much one-liners, I guess. And I guess just like the cliches, like, some of them are really fucking funny. Some of them are just groaners. And maybe even groaners that you can't tell that they were meant to be funny because of being groaners, or whether they were actually meant to be funny to people who laugh at groaners genuinely. I don't know how self-aware it was at times, but it was still enjoyable. Enjoy it on whatever level you want. Just go in, I'm not gonna say trying to enjoy it, because we didn't go in trying to enjoy it either. We went in hoping, with hope, but not trying. And there was a point in the film where we looked at each other and said, it's good. Yeah. It's good right now. It's good, right? Like,
at the very beginning, there's like the sort of cartoon section, and then it says like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and we were like, okay, so far so good.
It felt like an homage to the comics, and I'm like, that's good, that's good. They did like a little reference to the comics, that's cute. And then slowly, it was like, went from like this to like this is this actually gonna stay being like this?
Like, they're gonna have to fuck up.
Is it gonna fuck up? Like, are the reviews bad because this all falls apart?
Yeah.
And it doesn't. I don't know what else to say to you. Like, we're gushing.
Yeah,
maybe
has been a long gush.
When we calm down, we can watch it again and have a more critical eye. I don't know. We are gushing, though. This is like unabashed, pathetic. Like, you meet a celebrity and you're just like, I love you, kind of gushing. It's stupid. So
Easter eggs in the movie.
Take it for what it is.
Well, apparently Baxter was in it, but
we didn't notice Easter eggs if there were, really.
Megan Fox was great.
And yeah, we kind of went over Megan Fox. Yeah, we went in detail on her as like
the origin story is incredible. Loved it.
In fact, just one other comment on Megan Fox. there was a few moments where she actually really gives her all into like acting like she's in the moment, like when she screams at Shredder.
Yeah.
She says his name and her voice cracks as she screams it, trying to get his attention.
Yeah.
It almost seems like she's scared too, but is like also pumped on adrenaline, like she like needs to change this situation right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Yeah. Any other questions?
Nothing after the credits. There's like something 30 seconds in, Fraser said.
Yeah, just a little thing.
She's cute.
I would say that
April's never in a jumpsuit.
No, she's not.
It's fine.
They have a lair, but you don't see too much of it. I would say we're probably we should probably wrap up.
Probably. We're just gonna keep gushing.
If to sum it up, I would have to say that what this did more than anything,
No Go Ninja Dance.
is it made me realize how big of a Turtles fan I am. I feel like a new Turtles fan. Like I want to go start watching the new cartoons right now. Like we've seen little bits of them, the new Nickelodeon ones, and we've liked them. We thought these are surprisingly good. Now I want to go watch it and just like fall in love all over again. I want to go to Toys R Us and see the new toys. And have you seen all those toy YouTube channels that review toys and how much money they get? I could start reviewing toys. I want an excuse to go buy the toys in a way. Like I want to pick some up and say like, let's look at these new designs objectively and how I used to hate what this looks like and now do I love it? Or, you know, can I come around on this? And even you said as we were leaving the theater, like how you don't want your nephew to have the new toys because you think that still they look ugly. Like they don't feel like the same turtles you grew up with.
Yeah, which is my nostalgia goggles, so.
Now I want to come around on the toys too. I want to see what they look like and like think, is this something is this a good new toy for a new generation? You know?
I honestly, like I'm so excited to get a hold of my nieces and nephews and tell them all to go see it. Like, I want them to see it and I want to hear what they have to say about it.
I want every kid to go see this.
Yeah.
And then I want him to wait until he's 19 and watch the Gritty reboot. That being Turtles 1.
Yeah.
You know, and like...
What do you think?
Yeah. So that's my parting thought, is it made me a Turtles fan again, and I think I'm going to watch it. I don't think I've ever seen a movie in theater twice, and I think I might end up doing this. Because I want to see it with the guys.
I saw Titanic.
That's ridiculous. That's weird.
But I was in grade 9.
And you probably cried.
No, I just got my contacts for the first time. And so my eyes were all just crying all the time because I didn't know how to wear contacts.
Go see it, guys. I hope you love it as much as we did.
I really hope you like it.
And we'll see you next time. We might do more of these. By the way, this wasn't just because we love this so much that we did this. We were actually planning on doing these for a while where we did this. But I think the first one we wanted to do it with, I don't remember which movie it was going to be. But we came back from it and we were like, I liked it, but didn't feel excited enough to go jump on the couch.
The Avengers?
No, I think it was the latest X-Men. We planned to do it. We went and saw it in theater and we thought we'd come back and talk about it, but even though we liked it, we weren't like this. And we thought that we need to be like this.
Yeah. Especially for the
get on the couch. Anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, parting thoughts. Loved it. Go fucking see it. Blah, blah, blah. And goodbye. Thanks for watching, guys.
Bye.
Thanks, K-Shade.